Most teenagers structure and plan their life wrongly. I was speaking to somebody on my private community and he was feeling a bit directionless. So I asked him, okay, what's the goal? What's the thing that you're trying to do? And he said, I don't have a goal. And I was like, okay, you're feeling directionless, but you don't have a goal. It's kind of like getting into a car, not having the destination put into the GPS, and just driving and expecting to end up in the correct location. Like, that's just not happening. And then after asking him a few more questions, he said, oh yeah, I know, I have a goal. I want to learn a new language. And I could tell he just pulled that answer out of his ass just so that he had an answer to my question. Because clearly, that was not a goal of his if he had to think about it. That was a flimsy, fake goal that he made up on the spot just because I asked. For the goal-oriented people that I know, they don't have to think about it. They don't have to be like, oh yeah, what is my goal? I forgot. They're thinking about it 24/7. It's the thing that takes up most of their brain space. And so if you don't have a goal written down, then you don't have a goal. If you don't read it every single morning, you don't have a goal. If you don't have like a plan, a step-by-step thing you have to do, you don't have a goal. And that's probably why you're feeling a little bit directionless. So here's the simple way that I plan and structure my life to achieve my goals. And I highly recommend you do this alongside me. Like, as you watch this video, take out a piece of paper right now, open a Google document and just do it alongside me. I'll tell you when to pause, I'll tell you when to play. If you don't do that, you may as well not watch this video. Genuinely, if you do these actionable steps, this video could save so much time. So let's set some goals and create your life plan together. Yippee! I don't know why I said that. Step 1, finding the weakest link. At the top of your page, I want you to just write down, my weakest link currently is blank. And I'll walk you through how to find it. Just write down those words first, you can pause the video. Once you have that, to find out what our weakest link even is, we need to understand this concept. So the analogy that I like to use is like, imagine a chain. You know how chains have all those little links that link it together? Imagine you have a chain and all the links are metal except for one in the middle that's made of paper. It's a really weak chain, right? Because if I pull, they're just gonna break. So basically, you are only as strong as your weakest link. So the way that I found this is like, I wrote down different aspects of my life, imagining like each one of them is a link in the chain. And I found out which one is the weakest one. So for example, in school, my grades are pretty good, 7 out of 10. For fitness, I'm not jacked or anything, but I stay active, I do sports, 6 out of 10. But let's say I didn't make any money. Well, if I didn't make any money, that would be a 0 or a 1 out of 10. And so that would be very clearly the weakest link if you wrote it down in a list. And so that's what we're going to focus on. So for example, at the top of the page, you could write, my weakest link is being broke. I'm trying to give my editor enough space to write down the words. And then on the side, you can write down the other aspects of life that are not the weakest one, just want to have them there for your reference, And so what we want is just to have all the links be super strong, but a lot of people go about it the wrong way, where they try to do everything at the same time. They try to strengthen all the links. But for us, we're just going to focus on the weakest one and level it up first. So for example, we have the money one that's at a 1 out of 10. Okay, after 6 months of working on it, it goes from a 1 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10. After 1 year, it's like a 8 out of 10 now, 9 out of 10. Well, if you're at the 9 out of 10 money, you look at the other ones now. Maybe over the year, you haven't gone to the gym as much. So the fitness one has gone from a 6 to a 5 to a 4. And now the fitness one is actually the thing you have to level up. So after 1 year, you've achieved your money goals. You can put that to the side. That link in your chain is pretty strong now. So now we can focus on the fitness one. And then we go one by one, leveling each one up. We see the one that's the lowest and we just bring it up. So we don't try doing everything at once. We just grow the biggest constraint and maintain the rest. And so when you have this statement so clearly written at the top of the page, it's very easy to know what to focus on every single day. Because you probably have 4 or 5 different links in your chain and you're trying to focus on all of them. But when we just say, okay, remove the rest, we're just going to maintain the rest. Let's just focus on growing one. That's when you get a lot more clarity. Step 2, the goal. So after you have your constraint written, we're going to write down a goal that would lift the constraint. For example, if the constraint is money, then a goal can be like make $1,000 a month. If the constraint is fitness, then you can say, I want to be 70 kilograms by the end of the year. If the constraint is your grades, then say, I want to have a 4.0 GPA by the end of the year, by the end of the semester. And so we use that as the end point of our journey. And there's 3 big things I want to cover. Firstly, SMART goals. So, SMART goals is an acronym. You probably heard it before. Specific. You want to make sure it's a specific thing that we can see. If your constraint is that you're broke and you write down, I want to be rich, that's not specific. $1,000 a month is specific because I can measure it, which is the second thing. I can measure, I can see it, I can just check my bank account and see how close I am to the goal or how far away I am from the goal. Just saying I want to be rich means nothing. Next is measurable. There has to be a metric that I can track, be it subscribers, kilograms, or dollars. It has to be something that I can see. I can just check my bank account and see if I'm making $1,000 a month or not, how close am I, or how far away I am. This way you can track your progress so that you know if you're even making progress. Next is achievable, which I'll go through in the next part of this. I'm just gonna skip this one. I'm gonna come back though. R is relevant, meaning is it relevant to the current weakest link? So if your weakest link is I'm fat and I need to get fit, but your goal is I want to learn a new language, clearly you fucked up somewhere, right? And then T stands for time bound, even though time bound would be TB, meaning it would be smart goals, but time bound just means there has to be a time limit. For me, I like to choose like 1 year. That's the way that my brain works. If you want to use more, you want to do less time, doesn't really matter, just make sure there is a time limit there. Okay, so you probably noticed that I skipped A, which is achievable, and that's specifically because I don't think you should set achievable goals. In general, we can achieve way more than we think. And the thing is, when people hear the word achievable, they just think, oh, I'll just downgrade my goal so that I can achieve it. But the thing is, if you do that, you set a goal so small that you don't even care about achieving it in the first place. Like if your goal is to just lose a little bit of fat, lose like 2 kg of fat for the whole year, you're not going to wake up at 6 a.m. and go for a run just to lose 2 kg of fat. But if your goal is 5 times more, if your goal is to lose 10 kg and look like the 10 out of 10 best physique that you've ever had in your life, you're going to be so much more confident. Everyone's going to look at you different because you've changed over a short period of time. You're going to wake up at 5 a.m. now. You're going to actually put in the work. You're going to be more motivated because you put something there that's worth it. It's like dangling the carrot on the stick in front of you. If you put a more juicy carrot, you're just going to run faster. Like your goals should low-key scare you. You should look at them and be like, oh fuck, I gotta get to work. I don't even know if I can achieve that. And so set goals that you can't achieve so that they force you to become the version of you who can achieve them. Bars. And then the last point that I'll quickly talk about, which is a bit contradictory, but goals don't actually change anything. They don't make you happier. Like when I hit my goal of 100k subscribers, it didn't feel like anything. It was like, oh cool, big number, big number, cool. That's it. I didn't feel happy during the moment of achievement, but I did feel happy on the way and the progression to achieving it. It's when I saw the subscribers go up. It's when I saw comments that this video actually helped people. It's when I saw a video get like 1 million views. That's what actually makes you feel something. It's not the moment of achieving it. It's seeing the progression along the way. Because the moment that you do achieve it, you just move the goalpost and you go for the next biggest thing. After 100k, it becomes 200k, and now I've achieved that as well, and now it's like 300k. It's gonna continue going forever. So yeah, if you remember, like in the if you remember in the beginning of this video, I said goals is like getting into a car and putting in the destination into the GPS, right? This is kind of like if you get into the car and you put the goal into the GPS, you don't just stare into the GPS for the whole ride, right? You have to look at the road and the pedestrians and the zebra crossing and the stop signs and everything. So yes, you need the goal, you need the destination. That's completely vital. But once you have it, you just put it in and you go. It's only in times when you're lost, when you don't know which road to take, that's when you look back at the GPS. But for most of the time, you're just focusing on the road that's ahead of you. If not, you're gonna like run into some elderly grandmother as she's crossing the road. So I think that smoothly segues me to the third point, the third step, which is the roadmap. So right now you should have the constraints at the top, then in smaller like font you can write down the SMART goal, and then now we're going to look at the actionable steps that we can actually do to achieve this SMART goal. So for example, if your goal is to lose 10 kilograms, then your actionable step is probably run 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and eat a certain number of calories. If your goal is $1,000 a month, then the actionable step can be like building the business or getting a part-time job or whatever you want to do to make the money. If your goal is to get good grades, 4.0 GPA, and then the actionable step should probably be something like, oh, I want to study 2-3 hours a day, do 10 practice papers a week. That's something that we can actually see, something that's measurable, that we can do on the weekly or daily basis. And one important thing to know is that everybody has the same goals. Everybody at the Olympics all want the gold medal, but only one person takes it home. Winners and losers have the same goal, so that cannot be what differentiates the winners from the losers. Everybody wants to make money, be fit, and have perfect grades. Losers commit to the goal, winners commit to the actions that lead to the goal. And so if you commit to the actions and all you do is run and eat at the correct calories, you will reach the goal of losing weight, regardless of whether you set the goal or not. If every day you just upload a super authentic video that's valuable and you teach something, it doesn't matter whether you set the goal or not, you will get subscribers eventually. And so this is super important. On the daily basis, we're going to look only at the actionable steps and just use the goal as motivation. It's the carrot on the stick that's in front of you. And so to relate this to my life, because it's my channel, so I'm going to talk about me, obviously, dumbass. After setting the goal to hit 100k subscribers, I kind of just forgot about it and just started making videos that I like to make, and I reached it regardless. And here comes the final part, which is like the most fun for me. Let's create a roadmap, which is kind of like working backwards. So you draw a timeline, which is like a straight line. You draw the start and the end. And then along the way, you just do little checkpoints of different milestones that you can hit. So for example, if your goal is to lose 10 kg, you don't just write 0 kg, minus 10 kg. You have to write minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. And so you can see the progression with every kg that you lose. The way that I explain it is kind of like, you know, when you're in a boring class and you just hate the teacher and the teacher just talking, just yapping about nothing. You're there like, okay, there's 1 hour left. But usually I don't say there's 1 hour left. I say, okay, 1 hour is 60 minutes and, 60 minutes is 10 minutes times 6. So I just need to get through 10 minutes 6 times. And so every 10 minutes that pass, it feels like I'm making progress. It feels like, okay, 5 left, 4 left, 3 left, 2 left. Okay, 10 minutes left, 10 minutes left. Then it ends. So simply put, I take the full thing and I break it up so that it feels like every 10 minutes is a win. So why don't you do that with the goals as well? And so for example, in my 100k journey, every single 10k subscribers, I did a community post like this. So this is 20k, 30k, 40k. Every 10,000 subscribers, I just did a little post just so I could celebrate the small win, and that adds up to the 100k. And it works super well for me because I used to be addicted to Minecraft and like getting achievements on video games. So it's the exact same feeling, just in real life instead. So that's it, you did it, assuming that you follow along. Right now you should have your weakest link at the top of the page, your SMART goal that fixes the weakest link. Then underneath that, you should have your actionable step, which is the thing you're going to do every day or every week to achieve the SMART goal. Then underneath of that, you should have a little timeline just so you can see the progression as time goes on. And then here comes the most important part. Actually read this page. Every morning I wake up and I grab my phone first thing, which is like a sin in self-improvement, but I open it and I check this page immediately because this sets me right for the whole day. It sets the tone for the whole day, and this is now your page of motivation. And anyway, it only takes me like 1 minute to read the whole thing. And as you go along your day and you remind yourself of this, you read it a few more times and you're taking the action that leads to the goal, it feels like every day leads up to something. It adds up, and over a year you can look back and think, okay, I've produced this. And so before I end this video, let me bring you over to my laptop so I can show you the page that started this all, which is the page that got me to 100k subscribers. This is my goal page. Oh, didn't notice you there. I'm just joking. So this was the page that I used to get to 100k subscribers, and I used to call it the current constraint, which is basically the weakest link, the thing that's constraining your life the most and holding you back the most. So for me, I had just discovered self-improvement about a year ago, so my biggest constraint was I was a low level on self-improvement. And so most people have this thought where, okay, I'll get good at self-improvement first, then I'll make a channel to talk about it. But I thought of it in the opposite direction. What if I made the channel, which would then force me to do cool shit so that I have cool shit to talk about? And so that forced me to get good. That forced me to learn and actually take action. So my goal was, the actual goal I was going to do is 100k subscribers by the end of the year. My first goal was 10k, but then I 10 times it because I knew if I just do this, I will achieve more by default. Even if I don't hit 100k, I'll still achieve more than 10k. So I added the actionable steps, make one valuable and authentic video every single week, 52 videos by the end of the year, because there's 52 weeks in a year. Say what you're afraid to say, tell your story, share lessons as you level up on self-improvement, and the best way to learn is to teach. So you can put a little motivational sentence at the bottom just to keep yourself motivated. And then the final thing I added, which is this, a little timeline, 10k, 20k, all the way up to 100k. There's a flag to signify the start. there's a star to signify the middle, and then there's a crown to signify the end. So that's what I used. So yeah, that's how I plan my life and set goals in 3 steps that you can use as well. If you've not followed this video, just know that you made it to the end and you have achieved nothing. Congratulations! And even if you already have goals but you just haven't written it down correctly yet, or you haven't planned out fully, still do this. This format makes it super digestible, super clear, and it serves as like a really good reminder for me, so I hope it can do the same for you. Take action. Yippee! This video took very long to record, my throat is very dry. So yeah, if you like my advice and you want more, go click the first link in the description. That's Ruff Club, my private community. Everybody on there got this video first. I preview all my videos in there. I have every course that I've ever made in there. I have multiple coaching calls a week, and you can even slide into my DMs. Everyone joins after that. I also have Team Ruff, which is the free version, where I still post pretty much like daily or once every few days in there, just to give value for free. So if you like that, you can join. If not, that's completely fine, because all the YouTube videos will still be here for free. I'm trying to make more full guides now. Like if you see the recent videos, they've been more full guidey, where it's more it's more of a complete view on one topic of self-improvement, which I think is more valuable. So yeah, that's pretty much it. 给我一个 kiss.